Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another video. Since I finished my last art journal, today I have a new one in front of me to work on. I bought it from Sakura and I wanted to try a new one because Moleskine Sketchbook was very expensive. So this is like more economical, but I think the pages are a little bit thinner, so I'm not sure how it's going to hold up. It has more pages, so maybe I can glue the pages together if it's thinner, but we shall see. Another thing I'm going to use from my stash today is some scrapbook papers from Graphic 45. This is called Voyage Beneath the Sea collection, and I have a few papers. I didn't get the whole set, but chose the ones that I love a lot and that could be focal points. I'm going to use this Mermaid today and some other pieces from these scrapbook papers that you will see, but it's very lovely. I'm going to use a strip from these seahorses, and yeah, I just wanted to show you all of them. And today I'm going to create my background with my Panpastels. It's been a long time I haven't used these, and I am actually inspired by one of the pages that I created before using the same scrapbook papers and Panpastels, and I'm going to put the link down below for you to see. It's one of my popular pages actually, and you will find it up in the cards as well. Another stamp set that I'm going to use only these sand granules from this stamp set. It's from Stampendous. It has a mermaid and other things of the sea. It's called Clink Pearl Mermaid. I'm going to link the supplies down below as much as I can find them, so check it out there. And I am going to use this stamp that is one of my favorites from My Favorite Things. It has like waves on it, so it's very versatile. I used it many times, and actually I used it in my previous page that I mentioned you as well in the same style. So I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad today, and I'm using these sand granules and the waves to create texture at the background only. This is a technique that I use with Panpastels all the time, because when you use pastels over your page, Versamark creates absorbs the pigment more and it becomes darker. So you will see that we will have a texture automatically when we apply our Panpastels. I don't need to emboss it or anything. All I am doing is using the Versamark and stamping my stamps. Panpastels are great quality, very highly pigmented and very fun to use. However, they are not the cheapest things in the market. So if you don't want to create your background with Panpastels, or you don't have it, it's fine. You can do this technique by embossing. So do the same thing, emboss with clear embossing powder, and then you can use your paints, your inks. You will get more or less the same background structure that I am getting here, with some texture at the background. Or you can ink or paint your background, or and on top you can just stamp with a similar color, so that again you have your texture. So you don't need to execute the same styles or same products as me to get similar looks. Just think about what you have rather than what you don't have, and I'm sure there is a way to get the same styles, or you can even draw some waves with pens or pencils on your page. Meanwhile, I started using my Panpastels over the page. I'm using this tool that comes with the sets. It has a sponge. You can use a makeup sponge as well, and you don't contaminate between pens when you go from color to color. Just use a dry paper kitchen towel like I'm using. Clean your sponge there, and then you can use the other color, which is great with Panpastels. They don't mix colors easily, and you are seeing the colors that I'm using on the screen while I'm using them. I'm going with tones of greens and blues. and I'm going from light shades to darker shades to build up my background. As you see, it's very easy, very fun to do, and there's no mess of paint on your hands or anything. So these are the advantages of these products. I will also leave a link down below for cheaper alternatives of pastels. They are in forms of sticks, so they are hard, but like pencils. But what you can do is you can scrape off with a craft knife and take the scrapes, the dust that comes out of the pastels with a makeup sponge and create a background like this. So there are always ways, more economical ways. And if you want to try this product, go for a couple of shades and see how you feel before you go and buy a whole set, because it's quite pricey. That would be my recommendation. This is artist quality, so artists make paintings with these pastels, and I remember I bought them on a whim one day years ago, and really, if you ask me now, I wouldn't buy them because I don't use them all the time. I'm definitely not getting the most out of them. Maybe I should use them more. But yeah, I did it, so I wanted to use it today. But just recommendations coming from my personal experience. Sometimes we get excited with a new product and buy it, and then it stays in our stash for years and years. As you see, I built up my colors from light to dark, and now I have a really nice sea background with many colors on it. And how to store these pen pastels is they come with these pens, and you can screw them on top of each other, so it's really easy. It also comes off your hands really easily with a baby wipe, so it's definitely a little bit less mess free. And how to seal them is I use art fixative for this, or you can use cheap hairspray. It will do the job. Don't forget to spray it outside, since these are products that are not nice to inhale. This is a stencil from Stamperia from their Mechanical SeaWorld collection. I love these pipes, and I am using my Prima Art Alchemy metallic waxes to go over the stencil and create some dimension. These waxes are not to be used like this, but there are many usages of a product, so I'm going to use them like this. People generally use it in mixed media projects, canvases, going over their items, the embellishments, elements, to create some shine over them. I'm sure you know them, but I think it's very nice to use them like this too. They smell super nice as well. I'm going to use a couple of shades. One is antique gold and the other is copper, since there are orange and gold tones on my Mermaid, and these two colors go very well over turquoise colors. However, there is a problem with this process. After I did all this, my stencil became contaminated with this wax, which is normal. But when I tried to wash it, it was very hard to take it off. This wax covered all my hands, all my stencil. It has a very oily formulation somehow, and it just got stuck everywhere, and it was extremely difficult to take it off my stencil and my hands. I had to use a Ranger's craft soap to take it off my nails, nail polish. So yeah, don't come after me if you make this technique and then it gets everywhere and you get angry. I'm telling you from now that it looks nice, but to take it off was an absolute nightmare. So after my warning, I just glued my Mermaid down with matte medium, and I went around the background a little bit too, because I want to do shading, so it became non-porous now. And I cut these little sea plants from my scrapbook papers and all these elements as well, and I all glued all of them to my page with matte medium. I got the sentiment from the scrapbook papers that I showed at the very beginning as well, so I have it on my page now. I thought I needed a couple more details, so I'm cutting these plants as well. As you see, I just cut on top. I didn't go to the details in between because all these colors go with my page. I don't need to cut all these in between parts. And I'm going to cut another sea star as well to place it over my mermaid to give just more energy, more interest to my page. I can use my matte medium freely because, as you remember, I fixed my page with a fixative. As you see, the colors all came together now, and I'm using my Caput Mortuum color Faber-Castell bit brush marker to do my shading all around the images as much as I can. This wax is not dry yet. I think it's going to take like overnight for it to dry. So just to tell you as well, don't close it right away, just in case. I mean, it looks really nice, but the mess that I went through afterwards, maybe it was me being clumsy, I don't know, but it got everywhere. I cannot forget it. I am traumatized by it. Now I decided to use Stickles over some elements on my mermaid. That will give a really nice shine. This is like a turquoise color. So I'm making some lines over the tail. And then I'm going to cover her top that she's wearing in green with these stickles as well. You will see in the close-up pictures afterwards the beautiful shine these stickles give. Again, I got some ideas from the previous page that I made, that I mentioned at the beginning. It's very possible that you get ideas and inspiration from your previous projects. You don't need to create something unique or totally different every time. I enjoy going back to my videos, and sometimes you guys make some comments and I remember my videos, and I remember some techniques that I forgot to do for a while. So it's always nice to go back to your own work. Meanwhile, I used the gold stickles as well on some elements on the mermaid. And I'm using this Liquitex gold ink to do lots of splashes, and you will see how generous I was and how beautiful it looks in the close-up pictures. You can use acrylic paint in gold here. You don't need to use ink. That was just under my hand in an easy place, so I took that one. And I am finished with the page. I hope you enjoyed the process. And can see all these beautiful colors and details, and this wax looks amazing, although it made me some problems. I still love it and I would do it again. I hope you enjoyed this video and the process. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like or leave a comment. That would make me really happy. Also, if you're over Instagram, I would love you to follow me there as well, because I'm sharing some different content and my sneak peek pictures for my new projects. I hope you're all well, healthy and happy wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.